Let's bring in H.A. Hellyer now from Cairo. He's a Senior Associate Fellow at the Royal United Services Institute. Thank you very much for your time. Let me start by asking why a French vessel? Is this a very public message by Iran?
Thank you very much for having me. I think that it's very much in Iran's interest to be able to show that they have effective control over the strait. That means being able to show that they will stop or ensure that no vessels can cross, but also show that they can allow certain vessels to cross. So it's not random, it's not haphazard, it shows more effective control. It's also why this situation is very, very precarious. I don't think that the Gulf more widely is going to accept this going on indefinitely, as indeed the rest of the international community. So it's a message from Tehran, but one that I don't think that they're going to be able to hold indefinitely. On the contrary, this is something that I think unites not only the Gulf, but much of the international community.
We've seen Donald Trump time and time again call for a coalition when it comes to the defense of the Strait of Hormuz, and he's been putting increasing pressure on European allies. He's also been quite publicly increasingly frustrated by the lack of support. So this presumably won't do much to help transatlantic relations.
No, but I think that the Europeans, NATO more generally, they correctly described this war as one that they did not choose to get involved in. NATO is a defensive alliance. It's not an offensive one. And I think that there's a huge feeling across Europe that this isn't a war that should have been undertaken in the first place, that it was quite reckless. So they're not about to abandon that assessment simply to placate Washington, D.C., particularly when it seems that Washington itself doesn't have a clear game plan about how to go about this war and how, importantly, how to end it and what the post-war phase is going to quite look like.
And H.A., what is your assessment of Donald Trump saying that with more time, the US can easily open the strait and take the oil? Does this signal further military intervention in your view?
I think that considering the events of the past month, we have to assume that there will be further escalation. Beyond that, it's very difficult to predict what the U.S. is going to do, and not because of strategic ambiguity from Washington, but frankly, confusion. This has been a war that is operated on a very ad hoc basis, without much reliance, I think, of expertise within the administration itself. The idea that the U.S. was surprised that Iran would try to weaponize access to the Strait of Hormuz is really quite extraordinary. Nobody should have been surprised. I don't think that there were any Iran analysts or experts, even in D.C. itself, that thought that this was going to be anything but unsurprising. So the fact that there was any surprise within the administration's top leadership is quite telling in and of itself.
H.A. Hellyer, thank you very much for your time and your analysis this evening.